Hi, welcome back. I'm going to show you how to deploy Django in 9 minutes or less using render. People will be looking at Django Ninja, but this applies for Django or Django Ninja. So I'll take you through it. Let's go. We'll set up a basic Django Ninja app and then deploy it. Cool. Now let's install the necessary packages. Copy this and paste it in. So Django, Django Ninja, Unicorn, white noise. Great. And now we'll create our Django project. Put that in. We'll see it pop up here. There's core. I should say, by the way, this written guide is online here at phonedesigner.com/articles deploy Ninja with loads of other blog articles. I've written over 50 now. Anyway, back to it. So we've just done core. Now let's actually just create the app. Don't need to CD. Just create the app there, and you see it pop up. I like them to be on the same level, app and core. And then we're going to create the necessary files. We can copy this and paste it in, and you'll see them pop up. We're creating a file called api.py inside our app called API, and then we're creating requirements here, and then we're creating render.yaml, which may be useful for later. This is sort of optional because we're going to set it up manually, as you'll see. So yeah, it should look like that. It does look like that. Manage.py, core requirements, render. Yeah, you can just create them manually if you need. Okay, now we want to update our settings files, our settings.py file. So go to core, settings.py, and then we want to paste this render stuff in anywhere. Let's throw it in there. And we also need to import OS. I'm just going to delete this docstring and import OS. And this render this means, so render sets an environment variable here when it runs. The environment in which we're going to deploy to has this environment variable. So this essentially says, if you're deploying and we detect this environment variable, which you will when we're deploying, then add the render hostname to external hosts. This is a really nice way instead of having to know it manually in advance. And then installed apps. So we go down to installed apps here and then add API here, which is the name of our app here. And now we've already added OS, middleware. We want to add the white noise so that we host static files through render through Django. So white noise there. You need security middleware, that's already in there. So that's good. I think I left that in there just to say where you should put it underneath. Static URL, we need to set to static like that. Have I got that already? Yep, static. So check that that's set, and then copy and paste this in like that. This is just taken from the render guide. Cool. Now let's populate our requirements.txt file with our packages into terminal, and then just pip freeze requirements.txt, and you'll see that will now update our packages that we're using. And now we're going to create some Django Ninja functionality. So go to your Django API, and we'll copy this super simple starting Django Ninja, just the hello world. And then we're going to update the core URLs to access these. Django Ninja is really nice. I much prefer it to Django REST framework. It's much faster, simpler, neater. Faster to get going. I don't actually know about their relative speeds. I guess they're very similar. Now go to core URLs and then paste this over the top. We've got that input there. This is the confusing thing about naming things API. That would probably be better named as something else, but we'll proceed. This means you go to API, then that goes to API here, which we've imported from our API module there, which refers to this file there, which then imports API, which is there, set by Django Ninja. And then that gives us the URLs. Okay, now that's all done. Let's run to our server. Looks good, running, we'll check it. Great, that's what you should expect to see. And now if we go to the correct route, API and docs, these are the Django Ninja auto-generated docs, which are it's really nice way. Just from writing this, you get the route functionality and then this auto-generated doc. If we add another one here, copy that with something else, all bonus, do it like cat, hello cat, and refresh this message that we need to rename that to cat. Otherwise that is being duplicated. So we'll just take the first one, refresh, and cat, there you go. Hello cat, cool. Anyway, that's bonus. Let's get back to deploying. We can ignore this step. Actually, we can deploy things manually by clicking these buttons. This essentially allows us, we're now going to do this on render, what you could do by entering in your details. In short, you can either write your deployment script here as code, or you can go and do it manually. It makes little difference. Let's just do it manually. Okay, so we're going to create a new repo. I can do it very simply here. You can set your git ignore to only commit the things you want. Okay, so first commit, and then we'll publish that branch, and then we'll deploy a private repo. So Cool, all done. We'll open on GitHub. There it is. Great. Now we will go and actually go on to render and then connect it up so that every time we push to our GitHub repo, we render then redeploys it. Let's go dashboard, new, we'll create a web service, Git provider, and then choose vdeploy Django Ninja. We called it vdeploy connect. And most of these actually look okay to me, but let's just check these settings here. Here we are. So choose a name. Let's call it vdeploy Django Ninja. That's fine for me. Environment, Python 3, build command, pip install our requirements. So whenever our build runs, we need to install the requirements that our Django app needs. Those, so install, yeah, that's already set up, good. And then the start command is Gunacon core WSGI, that's probably different. Yeah, so we need to paste that over the top. And this goes into our core app, goes to WSGI file, and then to application, which is our core app, WSGI, and then that's application. That actually will set it to run. So that actually, it looks like that's the only thing we're probably going to have to change. That easy. Let's click deploy and let's see if I'm right. Okay, we could actually set debug to false here to trigger the white noise. What I mentioned earlier. At this point here, if not debug, we won't bother here. Let's deploy. So it's now deploying. And we need to wait a moment, but it's very common to miss something. I think there's a good chance I've missed something here, and we're going to have to debug it. But so don't worry if the first build fails. It's fine. Just go through it, fix the bugs, and you'll be all set up with and you'll have to think about it very little, hopefully, in the future. Cool. So as you can see, it's running, moving quickly, which is great. Great, and now here we are. That didn't take too long. And as soon as it flicks to live, and now we go. Here, looks like we're online. Wonderful. Yeah, so there were no build failures here, but like I said, if you get one, just work through it, take it, and you probably missed off something. Yeah, it's relatively easy to debug. Just look at these logs here, or logs there. Great, so yeah, and now if we go to API, that's as expected, then we go to the docs. This is now online. Yeah, try it out. You're online. You deployed Django, in our case Django Ninja, but this works exactly the same for Django. And then if we make a change and then to our code and then push it again, it will automatically redeploy of course you could deploy things on your own server, and that will save a little bit of money, but I would just say focus on the things that are going to differentiate you, bring value rather than trying to cut costs. Feel free to subscribe for more Django, Python content weekly. All the best to you.